Hello everyone and welcome back. After a break, I am back with today's topic, providing feedback. I am Sadia and in this series on emotional intelligence competencies, we are currently exploring interpersonal relationships. In the last video, we talked about one important half of communication process, which is active listening. And in today's video, we are going to talk about the other important half, namely providing feedback. Feedback is one specific way of expressing ourselves. We humans express ourselves in many different ways. We use facial expressions, body language, words, and sentences. Now, a lot of us connect the word feedback with a professional context. We naturally think appraisals, performance reviews, evaluations, etc. We actually provide feedback all the time in all of our relationships, collegial as well as private. This is how we provide information to each other about our likes and dislikes, our preferences, and this is how we set boundaries for others in a subtle, unnoticeable way. Because we are not aware how important this kind of feedback is for building and unfolding of our relationships, we usually act impulsively and just speak the words as they come to us without being mindful of how our words affect people around us. Here I want to acknowledge that providing feedback is not always an easy task, especially when we have to provide negative feedback. It can be difficult for various reasons. It can be difficult because we feel that providing negative feedback will make the other person dislike us or will make us less popular. And this points towards the fact that we need to work on our emotional independence. Another reason can be that we fear an awkward or volatile situation, and that is why we avoid providing feedback about someone's behavior or our experience hereof, which can be because of a lack of assertiveness. If we learn how to provide constructive feedback, it becomes easier for us to provide the negative feedback. The very first and most important thing in this regard is the choice of words. One message can be delivered in 10 different ways. So choose words with least negative connotations. For example, instead of saying, "You handled the situation badly," rather say, "The situation was not handled in the best possible way." Or, instead of saying, "You lied to me," rather say, "You were not being entirely honest with me." Focus your feedback on the action rather than the person. Tone of voice, body language, facial expressions are all important factors to remember, to be aware of when providing feedback. Cultivate a culture of providing positive feedback frequently wherever you are, in your homes, schools, workplaces, educational institutions, so that when you provide negative feedback, it is also considered credible and taken seriously. It is usually considered more beneficial to provide positive feedback first and then negative feedback to keep the situation less hostile, both for the receiver and the provider of the feedback. No matter what kind of feedback you're providing, it is important to keep a learning perspective on the communication rather than a corrective or advising one. You can also be on the receiving end of the communication process, and watching my previous video about active listening will help you being at the receiving end. I would like to emphasize here once again that providing feedback or the overall communication process becomes easier for you once you have a solid practice of self-regard, assertiveness, emotional independence, and empathy. If you are interested in learning about and practicing feedback techniques and other emotional intelligence competencies, you are most welcome to contact me on the information in the description box. Until next time, take care of yourselves.